We're here on the western edge of El Camino del Diablo, a 1,000-year-old road, making it one of the oldest roads in the United States, also one of the most deadly. We're going to try to drive it. But first, we had to prepare the van, which means Tom plugging up holes to prevent dust from covering our stuff.
Not what you think.
That also included airing down our tires. El Camino del Diablo, also known as the Road of the Devil, is on the National Register of Historic Places. Native Americans first used this route to transport shells and salt from the Gulf of California. Later, the first Europeans were Spaniards, and then after that, thousands of gold prospectors flooded the area to search for gold. It's estimated that 400 people died in the 1850s alone along this road of thirst. Since part of the land is owned by the Air Force, we had to apply for a permit with Luke Air Force Base, which we could do online. Part of El Camino del Diablo goes through the Barry Goldwater Range, which is a military testing zone. As you can see behind me, there's part of a downed plane, and further in the distance are a few tanks. So along this route, you see a lot of old military kind of equipment, and they do warn you, you could also encounter ordnance that's unexploded, so you're only supposed to go 50 feet off the road. So you have to be really careful in this area, as it is an active testing zone. This 130-mile route traverses unforgiving desert between Yuma, Arizona and Ajo. The road comes within just a few miles of the Mexican border. Our first stop were the beautiful Tinajas Altas Mountains. Within these mountains right here are 9 pod-shaped wells in the rock which collect rainwater that falls. When they're full, they can hold an astonishing 20,000 gallons of rainwater. In the past, when people were hiking El Camino del Diablo, they tried to get up to this water behind me, but unfortunately, sometimes they died within yards of reaching a tank of water. There's evidence of Border Patrol everywhere here, and signs of Trump's Wall. Del Diablo goes really close to the Mexican border, which means lots of U.S. Border Patrol officers. This is what they drag behind their truck along these roads in order to erase all the tire tracks and to look for footprints. Oh, heavy! The first part of El Camino del Diablo, used most often by Border Patrol agents, is smooth, soft, and not too challenging, with stunning scenery and blooming flowers. One of the next stops on our route was Tule Well. We're here at Tule Well, which is one of the places along this route we heard that there is water. We're not necessarily sure if it's safe to drink, but it does work. It can definitely be a lifesaver out here in the desert where temperatures can reach 115 during the summer months. We toured the little outbuilding, then Tom took a nap in the campground while I hiked around and explored. Then we went down Christmas Pass Road to find solitude and desert views to spend the night. Camping is allowed anywhere within 50 feet of the road and a quarter mile away from water sources, and we found a perfect spot. After a quick walk to stretch our legs, we were ready to head back to camp and make our dinner. While the first part of El Camino del Diablo tracks through the Barry Goldwater Range, the next portion enters the Cabeza Prieta Wildlife Refuge, which protects bighorn sheep and pronged antelope. Driving over sharp volcanic rocks and the Pinacante lava flow reminded us of how truly remote the Devil's Highway is, with no cell service and miles away from a paved road. Tom spent plenty of time scouting the best route for our Chevy Astro van. The Sonoran Desert is subtropical and the most complex desert system in North America. This portion we're driving is best known for its columnar cacti, the saguaro, and legume trees. It features hundreds of species of plants, including 20 varieties of cholla cactus. It's really a remarkable desert thriving with life and ruts. The heat here in the Sonoran Desert is deadly, with many Mexican migrants attempting the route every year. The Border Patrol put up call stations like these for people who need help. And a nonprofit group puts barrels of water throughout the scorching desert. From Cabeza Prieta, we entered Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, a UNESCO biosphere reserve where historic Bates Well is reminiscent of ranching operations in the desert. For our second night on El Camino del Diablo, we went off-road, camping on Bureau of Land Management land right outside the monument. Another night of stunning desert views. We thought we'd celebrate with fries. Road is pretty nice here. It's been graded and steamrolled, which is really cool. We've just finished El Camino del Diablo. Woohoo! We did think a lot about the really harsh conditions and the high temperatures that people faced along that road for hundreds of years, and they still face today. And so we thought about them a lot as we went on our journey, feeling very thankful that we have water and food and a vehicle to move us through the desert. And we are happy that we finished the road, and we are happy and healthy.